Well, welcome to I Love Gay at Home. And today we're up in Canada today, in Toronto. And so anyway, how you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. I'm very happy that I was able to badger you into getting a cameo.
I know. I was like, actually, it worked out perfect. I will have to be the first to admit that we're a little spoiled with these. As I thought, oh, we'll see what happens and create a few. And people have been kind of very, very pushing themselves to the front of the line. And so,
Well, it's quality programming, so feel good about that.
well, thank you. No, I didn't know where it was going to go, and we don't know the future, but we feel good about it right now. So, yeah,
Amazing.
tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're up to.
Well, I'm Daniel Holland. I live in Toronto. I'm quintessentially Canadian. I go back 8 generations on both sides, so pre Canada, in fact.
Wow. Wow.
And my father was an RCMP officer in his
Yeah.
career,
Yeah.
and yeah, we do a lot of things, and drink beer and all of the stereotypical stuff
Sounds
as
like an
well.
episode of Strange Brew.
Indeed. And I've been blissfully able to grow up gay in a fairly progressive country, and
Yeah.
so it's given me obviously some skills to A, cope, and B, to help other people in other parts of the world get
Yeah.
to where we are. So it's my
Well, what about
short
your I mean, you kind of have two hats here today, and in the
Mhm.
one, yes, gay games, and but also you do a lot of marketing and social media and so forth as far as helping companies kind of make
Yeah.
outreach. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so it's primarily actually business development that I do. So companies that are either launching products or want to kind of conquer another market segment.
Yeah.
I tend to just kind of help them with go-to-market strategies, which often involves a combination of marketing and sales.
Yeah.
So I work mostly in the retail industry, but increasingly automotive. And as a result of COVID-19, one of my clients has developed a type of PPE, which is a protective face shield. And that is keeping me insanely busy because
Wow.
we're outfitting, right, hospitals and long-term care facilities and hotels and whoever needs that.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, how about
Kind
um, that's on the one side of life, but that also segues into what you're doing with business development with gay games as well. Yes.
Yeah. So I, for many years, have been sort of the fundraising guy for our local LGBT tennis team, and then
Yeah.
the Canadian Gay Open, which is our national championship that we have every year. Well, except for this year,
Yeah.
would have been later this month, actually, on Victoria Day weekend, which is the end of May. And that word, I think, got around to a few members of the board at FGG that I was able to get clients like Infinity and one of our large banks here, Babolat, which is a tennis brand, to actually pay us sponsorship dollars to reach our community. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not want any more responsibilities like this, and you may know because I think you're probably philanthropic in a lot of ways too. But I got badgered into going to an annual general meeting just before the Paris Games
Yeah.
and was elected into this officer of development position, which I've held now for 2+ years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm working almost entirely with the host organizations. In this instance, it's Hong Kong, on multinational partner
Yeah.
relationships, and it's a brutal space, right? Because you're competing with every other possible cause or
Yeah.
organization. But we do have a very unique property. It is still by far the largest multi-sport event,
Yeah.
period, even against the Olympics in terms of head count. So we have a currency there. But again, it with COVID and some of the things happening in Asia right now politically, it's a good thing that we're brave, right? We all
Yeah.
have our armor on, and we're very used to these types of situations and dynamics. So
Yeah.
we are powering forth.
I don't think people always realize. I know even I didn't until actually in some many ways social media turned the lights on over the last 10 years. And what I'm getting at is that LGBT sports events, whether it's the gay softball World Series, LGBT water polo, all this. I don't think people realize how large and how overwhelmingly incredible and well organized and what a big deal these events are until all of a sudden like the lights turned on, because those were worlds away from many of us. And all of a sudden, once upon a time, I started discovering and realizing there are thousands of people that go to these annual World Series and water polo, swimming, tennis, thousands that get together for this. And so with the gay games, it's kind of like a culmination of all that. And that's why even in Paris, I remember watching and seeing that there was a lot more than I had even knew was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, just in tennis alone, which is my sport, I believe that we have 18,000 active tournament participants. So that doesn't actually define the community. It just means if you add up all of the people that have registered in tennis tournaments in the last, let's say, I think it's probably 2 years, you've got 18,000.
Yeah. And you guys really are global. I was in Guadalajara in October, and I ran into a bunch of your folks. And then I was in Thailand. Once upon a time, I was able to travel, and I was in Thailand in Chiang Mai, and then met up with more of your folks. Like, you guys have representation all over the world, and I love seeing that. But then, of course, it's Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's coming along, and so I'm sure most people are always wondering, is like between the political situation they see and then this pandemic, you guys, I'm sure, still feel confident that everything will, 2 years from now, that we'll be able to still see the gay games there.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously listening to many voices. One of the things we're doing is watching what's happening with the Tokyo Olympics, because that is a bit of a barometer for us, just in terms of the appetite of the corporate sponsors to participate and kind of, stay committed. Yeah. And then also just the reality of bringing people together. It's obviously hard for us to imagine, right, amassing thousands of people in any one location right now, and then having their families and spectators and all of that. But we do anticipate, and this is shared by a number of people, that one way or the other, the logistics of pulling this off, even if re-engineered, will allow the games to take place. And if not, we're going to have to get hyper creative. And like we have esports, for example, as one of the first times we're doing this as part of the game. So that is naturally digital friendly, and we can, manage that one nicely. But yeah, there may have to be some creative planning here.
I'm optimistic. I just, it's 2 years out, and I've already, when I saw Christoph, another part of your team, and I told him, I said, I really, really plan on being out there for the games, and I'm really hopeful that we've got 2 years. I think that I won't say that everything will go back to normal, but it'll go back to a new normal. And the new normal, I'm excited about seeing some of the things that happen from all that. So it'd be great to reconnect with you when we're out there.
Wonderful. And of course, the other thing is we want to make sure that none of the good work that we've done to date erodes as a result of everything kind of being reprioritized. I think the human rights and gender equality situation needs more firepower than ever. So we're super motivated to stick to our guns here.
And hopefully, I think the corporate world will also see this as an opportunity as well. I mean, you and I were together in March, where we had potentially we were going to have several hundred brands and agencies and so forth together. Some very strong LGBT initiatives, but of course, everything kind of happened at the same time. And we did have a decent turnout, but it wasn't quite anywhere near what we were expecting. But the idea that many companies were excited about being able to kind of see where they can take their LGBT representation to the next level. And I know you guys are going to be a big part of that, because you have kind of these very unique initiatives. I've seen it. I've seen this kind of like, it's very German, but this whole thing that comes through that really helps to walk through brands and corporate partners to understand the opportunities that are with gay games. And so I feel good about that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
It was forward. I saw that and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so organized before.
Yeah.
But no, I said,
maybe we'll get together in a non-pandemic zone sometime soon.
Exactly.
Actually have some quality time without terrorizing each other.
Well, between now and 2022, there's a lot of good opportunities, hopefully, along the way. So I look forward to seeing you again, or in Hong Kong in 2022. All
Wonderful.
right. Well,
Thank you. Thanks,
thanks for
Matt.
being here.
Okay, pleasure.